And one thing that is important to touch on is the big difference between online recruitment and traditional recruitment. It's done very differently, and candidates are looked after in very different ways. And I want to start with you, Toby, and discuss, how important is it? We want to look at candidates here. A lot of them are complaining about, contacting recruitment companies, not getting enough information back and not having access to talk to anybody. And I know, importantly, that online that's quite difficult to do. But what percentage of candidates do you see and do you get back to on a regular weekly basis?
It's a real challenge for all recruitment firms, and it's something that we've put at the top of our list in terms of, we know it's the biggest bugbear that candidates have. So we committed to, and we continue to, respond to every single email that comes to us. And that is not a small task. Each consultant receives anywhere between 200 and 300 applications a day, and that is seriously time consuming. And I've got to say, a lot of which are not particularly relevant to the jobs they've applied to. But still, we know that people are genuinely applying for a job. We know it's a very, let's say, sensitive time in their life, so we try and respond as kind of accurately and effectively as we can. I know that's not market standard, and I know that a lot of our competitors will focus on, let's say, the value-added tasks, or the tasks that actually make them money. But I think your reputation makes you money in the long run, which is why we at the Gulf Recruitment Group do have this policy of responding to absolutely everyone.
And in terms of you, Faisal, I believe that Bait.com now are doing quite a few different things to actually interact with your online job seekers, and this is quite important that you have this new feature on your website, which is interactive feature allowing people to have discussions online. How active are the employers in this, and the recruiters? Are they actually helping job seekers and answering to their queries? Because a lot of job seekers out there right now are feeling left out, and they're not hearing anything from employers.
Okay. 11 years ago, when we first started the business, I think the biggest complaint we heard in the market was job seekers looking for jobs but not able to find it. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to set up a marketplace that brought job seekers and employers together under one roof. Today, after 6.5 million job seekers on the database, 1.2 million unique visitors on the website, it's a testament that we've done well. Now, in terms of, interactions, for example, we get about 500 applications per job posting on average. And what we encourage our clients to do is to send out letters of either rejection or acceptance letters, and we have them prepared on the website. So it's just a click of a button, and you can actually tell your candidates whether they've been accepted or rejected, and that actually allows them, to feel that, okay, you know what, somebody has seen my CV. But to a certain degree, we don't have too much control over this because the CVs go directly to the employers. So we try and encourage the employers to obviously to interact with their candidates, but again, it's not particularly. It can't be controlled by us 100%.
It's an area where it's quite important, this particular area, simply because recruitment companies don't have the best reputation in this part of the world, simply because it's very frustrating if you are looking for a job, sending off your CV thinking you're perfect for a job and not hearing you back. A lot of the companies who advertise in the newspapers, for instance, say unsuccessful candidates will not be contacted. But the fact that you're firing back emails, even if they are rejection, the fact that Toby's company is actually looking at every CV, I mean, it's a great step forward. But I don't know how you do your matching process at Bait.com. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I don't think I've actually sent you a CV, but last night I received an email from Bait.com saying jobs that may interest you and suit your profile. Chief accountant at a company in Beirut, administration secretary in Kuwait. I've got an offer for an administration manager's job in Saudi Arabia, a medical officer manager in Dubai, administration manager in the eastern province of Saudi, finance manager for Iraq and Afghanistan, and an administrative assistant in Kuwait. How would I receive an email like that? What sort of things would you pick up from my CV? None of those which I would think I'd be at all suitable for. Why would I receive an email like that?
I think when a job seeker prepares his CV online, he actually creates an agent, and what that agent does is he finds that individual jobs based on his or her preference. So if I say that I'm looking for a job in sales, account management, HR, the job that agent then goes out there, and whichever jobs, say HR, sales, account management, they'll actually send me emails periodically telling me about those jobs.
So, I mean, this, as I say, administrative assistant in Kuwait. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's whether it's your judgment on me or whether it's actually a trigger word. Is it somewhere in some system?
I think
somebody's got my CV from somewhere.
I think so, Malcolm.
But it is an interesting one. What are recruiters currently looking for on CVs? What are the hot words, hot phrases?
It's not really hot words, hot phrases. I suppose it's time for me to throw an appeal out there to all candidates. Please don't dress up your CV with fancy words. We've had some fantastic CVs, and some of them do brighten your day. I recently had one with a guy whose catchline on the subject line of the email was "Big gun looking for a holster." I thought that was fantastic. But too much of this is
sure it wasn't a dating service that thought he was applying to.
If you think about what we do, it's actually very similar to a dating service, but that's a different story for another time. I'd appeal to people to keep the CV as straightforward as possible. We at the Gulf Recruitment Group do look at every single CV, and we don't want to spend hours trawling through 4 pages and huge long paragraphs about the skills you believe that you have, the interpersonal skills you believe you have. We want to very simply know where you've worked, the tasks you performed at that particular job, and the achievements you made in that particular job. I don't know if it was a 15% increase in sales or a 25% reduction in costs or whatever it might have been. As clear as possible helps both the agency and ultimately the client at the other end.
One of the biggest frustrations, I think, for job seekers out there right now is actually dealing with companies who actually advertise roles like, let's just say, for example, FMCG marketing manager, and they have like a list of criteria of what they want to fit the role. But sometimes the job seekers out there have different sorts of skills, and that doesn't mean that they're not necessarily good for these roles. How easy is it to change the mindset here? And are you seeing, Toby, the mindset of your clients changing in terms of taking people from different disciplines?
The big debate of hiring potential over the actual skills or
Absolutely.
the applicability of skills. When we look at CVs, all our recruiters are trained. They all have strong technical expertise. A lot of them actually come from the industries themselves. So we have guys who've worked in marketing for FMCG companies actually working for the Gulf Recruitment Group. So we do know what is applicable and what's not. I've got to say, a lot of the time within the Gulf region, people are there to buy skills. And if people come to a recruitment agency such as ourselves and pay a whopping great fee, they want to be buying the best available talent on the market, not necessarily the best available potential. So the requirements we put in adverts, we put the minimum possible to be considered, simply because we don't want to miss anyone. There are other requirements outside that we will later apply throughout the interview process. But what's on there tends to be the very minimum needed to be considered. Now, if you don't have the right skills for that particular advert, hang tight. Other jobs will come up, or apply directly to the agency saying, look, in general, I am an investment banker with 5 years of merger and acquisition experiences in the GCC. I don't fit exactly the profiles of the job you've got at the moment, but I see you work in my area. Is there anything you can do for me? That's fine.
Finally, I'd like to know how you both make your money. Starting with you, Faisal, for the online business. Where do your revenues come from?
So, the majority of our revenue comes in from, we have a number of services, and generally prepaid services. So what we do is, when we give away our customers take job postings from us, access the database on a timely manner. They take access to the database for a month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. They take job postings from us to advertise the positions on Bait. We have a number of branding tools on Bait that you can use: the hot jobs, the featured employers, job brands, job highlights. And if you look at our salary calculator, so our new salary survey, that's another prepaid service that we've started.
So you're basically making money from subscription revenues. Do the clients who find candidates from your website, do you get a commission from that?
Nothing
in
at
the
all.
traditional market, which is, I think, Toby, if I'm right in saying, that's how the traditional market works, isn't it?
That is indeed, yeah. That's how we make our money. We make our money in 2 predominant ways. The first way is the retained search. This is vastly the way we prefer to work, which is effectively we engage with a client who will pay us a third of the fee up front, a third of the anticipated fee up front, to go away, do our research, map the entire market, start our headhunting process, start our advertising process, and then we're paid another third on submission of the shortlist and another third on completion. This is how we prefer to work, but we do still take contingency work, and contingency work is where 100% of the fee, which is an agreed percentage of the first year's salary, is paid on completion, basically on the start date of the candidate. As I say, we vastly prefer the retained. We're unusual in the fact we actually discount for retained work, because there are completing roles in the Middle East is an uncertain business. Through no fault of your own, a lot of things change throughout the recruitment process. So we actually retain, we actually discount for retainer. And in fact, to new clients, a new promotion started by Steve Freed, another director within the Gulf Recruitment Group. We are now giving away an iPad 2. Not simply as a bribe, shall we say, but actually because we aim to do a lot of video conferencing for our international candidates, the iPad 2 can really help with that.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming in to talk in our roundtable on recruitment this morning. Faisal Bashir, the business manager at Bait.com, and Toby Simpson, managing director, Gulf Recruitment Group. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.